Hi everyone, it's the 4-Gun Guy, and I thought I would do a follow-up review of my Seekins SP10 chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. I took this out and ran it in my first match about a week ago, and I thought I'd go over the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you're ready to go, let's get to it. Well, let's start with the bad. So the bad, very interesting. So I got to the match, zeroed the rifle at 100 yards and had no issues whatsoever. Ran beautifully. I had my my brass catcher, which I'm going to do a separate review on that, and the make and model of it on here, and it worked great during zeroing. Get to the first stage, which was a PRS barricade. So it's like a wooden barricade, you know, with the steps on it. And squeeze off my first shot, I think. Okay, second shot, I moved over and I had a failure to eject. Okay, so I got my brass catcher out of the way, cleared it, fired the next round, failure to eject. So I dropped the magazine. Unfortunately, the pin had fallen out of the magazine, the extension. So now I've got a magazine in my hand, and all you hear is click, 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 click as the rounds hit the ground. So I quickly grabbed my other magazine, inserted it, chambered, and had another failure to eject. I had 4 failure to ejects on that stage. I think I still got a 3 on it, but very interesting. And so I thought, what the heck is going on with this thing? Because it ran great in zeroing, right? I sent rounds, I had zeroed it, everything looked great, and I couldn't understand it. As I came off the line, one of my friends, Richard, who I shoot with a lot, he said, I don't think you're getting enough gas. He said, that's what it looked like to me. So I took the rifle over to the zero stage that you can continue to zero your rifle throughout the match. Loaded up 10 rounds in a magazine, and I adjusted my my gas block. And I've got to tell you, I am so glad I got the upgraded adjustable gas block for this thing, because all I did is flip it over once. I sent 2 rounds down, and then I just rapid fired 8 rounds. Now that got everyone's attention around me, but I wanted to make sure that this thing was going to run great, and it did. So the rest of the match ran fantastic. So I'm gonna say here what I should have done during zeroing was most likely, and I probably sent 20 rounds through this to zero, but I should have. And in the future, when I'm at the zero range in the morning, I will warn people, guys, I'm gonna light off 5 rounds in a row, but I'm gonna do that just to make sure that everything's running properly. I didn't do that this time. So that was the bad. So let's get to the good. Well, the good's going to be pretty short. After that first stage mishap, this thing ran just flawlessly the rest of the match. It was really, really fun to shoot. The brass catcher, as I said, worked great. It cycled wonderfully. And it was just so nice to run a semi-automatic, right? A gas gun, not worrying about the bolt, not worrying about coming off target while I'm working the bolt. It was really fun. So that's the simple, really quick good of the rifle. I will say, kind of going back to the bad, I ran the MPA, their DN5 muzzle brake, this one, and it would not stay on the rifle. It would not stay locked. So I have since taken this off. A buddy of mine's going to buy it because he's got some of these and they don't seem to be a problem for him. And so I went back to the Area 419 Hellfire match, which I love this brake. I don't know why I left it. I guess to try something new, but I really do love this brake. But back to the rifle. Thing ran flawlessly. Trigger was fantastic. I love the 2-stage that I put in this thing. It really does give me pause between shots. And it helps me keep the trigger back. And then I know that that reset has happened, you know, once I come back forward. So all in all, really good experience after that first stage. Let's get to some of the ugly, because all the ugly is on this guy. I may do a video on this topic alone in the future, but I wanted to bring it up here. So think about this. First stage, I had 4 failure to ejects over to the 0 range, fixed it. Second stage, I get up there. I did okay, but I seemed high on things. Third stage was a longer range stage. And at the end of that stage, everyone told me, you were pretty high. When you missed like a target high. So I didn't get the chronograph out. What I should have done is gone back to the 0 range with my chronograph as the guys shot the 4th stage and just to see what this was doing. But I had chronoed before the match, and I thought I was in the range that I should have been in. I don't think I paid enough attention to that, though, because I think I was too focused on how's the rifle operating. So I get to after the 3rd stage, when they tell me I'm really high, I'm going to adjust my dope in my Kestrel. And I use a custom curve, so the only thing I do in my Kestrel is adjust my velocity, right? Some of you probably already see what's coming. I'm high on the target. Which way do I need to adjust my velocity in my Kestrel to come down on the target? In other words, let's keep it simple. I have at X distance, I was dialing 5.4 mils, and the guys are telling me, you're a 0.5 mil high. Okay, so at that distance, in my Kestrel, I need to have that Kestrel come down to 5 mils. What do I do on my velocity? Do I increase it or do I decrease it? You increase it, right? Increase in velocity means my bullet flight is flatter, so I do not need to have as much elevation on my scope. What did I do? I decreased it. So the next stage, which is stage, what, I don't know, 5, stage 5, I get up there and shoot, and they can't tell me anything, right? You can't help people on the clock, but I'm seeing it. I'm like, oh my God. So at 800 yards, I see my round go right over the target into the berm. Luckily, there's berms at this range. I drop down a 0.5 mil at 800 yards and I impact the target. Get off the line, I'm going, what the heck is going on? About the second I'm thinking that, I go, you idiot. Went back into the Kestrel, readjusted, and I don't know why I didn't check that before. I think I was in a hurry. It was getting ready to be my turn, and I just reduced the velocity for some stupid reason, and I didn't even check that. Are you at 5 now instead of 5.4, for example? So anyway, stage 6, adjusted it, and stage 6, I had a great stage. I think I hit 8 out of 10. I had a crappy match overall, but that stage I had an 8 out of 10. I hit I impacted a 900 yard 1 MOA target. So at 900 yards, it's, you know, like that. So I was very happy with that. I felt really good with my dope. The wind that day was just ridiculous. In fact, guys told me they had never seen the wind that bad at this match at this place before. So the wind was bad, everything was bad. But that was the ugly. It was my stupidity and not pausing and thinking about what I'm actually doing. So take that back and think about that, and make sure that when you're in those situations, you stop for a second and say, yeah, I know it's my turn, have someone else go, right? Don't get hurried. You can go out of turn, and just think about what it is you're doing, and think about that, how increasing velocity or decreasing velocity impacts your dope. So that was that. Let's get to some final thoughts, because I have some other things I want to go over with that. Well, final thoughts, pretty simple. Number one, I loved the experience. I'm going to shoot this in competition a lot more this year, a lot more. Accuracy wise, it is not as accurate as my bolt gun. I can tell you that right now. And the reasoning for that is, I think partly because of the barrel that's on here, and I may replace this barrel with a heavier barrel and ask my my gunsmith to do some work with that with me. The issue or the challenge you have there is it is a gas system, so you have to take into consideration this gas block up here, and he's got some thoughts around that. And I know there are some out there on the market that are 2-piece or whatever, so you can get a thicker barrel. But hey, look, I was, as I said, I hit 900 yard at 1 MOA target. I was happy with that. I thought my loads were good, so all of that was really good. Just validate the dope, as I said. I didn't have time to do one last run through on this, and I think what happened, honestly, I think the barrel sped up because this is a new rifle. I did send about 100 rounds through it, but honestly, I think it takes more like 180 to 200 rounds for your barrel to really just calm down into the velocity node that it likes for the load you're running through it. So I think what happened was it sped up. I wasn't prepared for that. And again, I'm doing this during a match, so I needed to make some adjustments. I'm going to go out and practice a little more with this and make sure that the dope's right and everything's good. As I said before, easy to handle. I have gotten really familiar with, it's on safe, you're on fire. The only challenge that I really have with this and the brass catcher that I use, and I'll do a review on that, is that it's hard to get to the bolt, to the BCG release, the bolt release button here. But once I got used to that, I was fine. So there you have it. Really good experience, in my opinion. Oh, and by the way, I won the gas gun division for that match. Now, I'm going to be totally transparent here and say there were only 2 gas guns in the whole match, so I beat one other guy. But I still get 100 PRS points for that. So, that's something. And none of that matters to me because I didn't run in the pro division this year. I just did that last year. So now I'm just at the regional level. So I'm not worried about any of that. But it was just funny. One of my buddies, in fact, Richard, the guy who said I was undergassed at the end of the match, he was doing up all the scores and he said, "You SOB," he goes, "you won gas gun." I said, "Well, all right, good things happen, I guess, huh?" So there you have it. Seekins SP10. I am still in love with this thing. It's a great rifle. I'm very happy with it. There's just some of those things I've got to tweak, get hammered out, and then this thing's going to run like a banshee. So hey, thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. And I've got some other stuff coming up. I do have a night vision scope I'm going to review. I do have the lot comparisons. I'm going to do a lot comparison with 22 ammo and with centerfire powder. So I've got different lots of these things. I want to compare and see how really this is all about quality. How is the quality today between one lot and the next of the things that they're asking us to buy? So I'm going to do those and then some others coming up. So thanks again for watching. Appreciate all the comments, likes, and subscriptions. And until next time, shoot straight.